Hello and welcome or welcome back to the Import Export Hub channel, everybody. Bogdan here, your biased host for the next 10 minutes or so. Thanks for joining me. And guys, as the title suggests, in this episode, I will cover 5 products that are worth importing from Peru. And my first recommendation comes from heading 0810. So we are talking about fresh strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, and the like. And here we see that for 2023, Peru's overall exports amounted to some $1.7 billion, with the United States, the Netherlands, and China as main partners, followed in this top 10 list by others like, I don't know, the United Kingdom or Canada. And it ends here with Thailand, to whom Peru managed to export some $5.5 million worth of products. But clearly, the United States and the Netherlands are dominating with some 78% share cumulatively. So quite concentrated, but not worrying, as both countries serve high-income populations. The Netherlands acting in this particular case as an import gateway for almost all of Europe. Now, relative to the compound annual growth rate for these last 5 years, we see that overall we have a positive 15%, with very, very good figures concerning the United States and the Netherlands, while the Russian Federation registered a negative 6.6% as the contraction from 2022 impacted the overall performance, which is understandable, but it seems it is picking up again, especially if we are looking at the year-on-year changes. And speaking of year-on-year changes, overall we see some 23% positive growth in relative terms, which translates to some $332 million. So quite impressive, as the United States alone managed a whopping $260 million positive change. Basically offsetting the negative figures happening in relation with China or Spain. As for the main drivers, well, it seems that fresh cranberries, bilberries, and other fruits of the genus Vaccinium drove most of Peru's exports, both towards the United States and United Kingdom. So, guys, we are talking about subheading 081040. Moving now to my second recommendation, we have here heading 0901. Coffee, basically, where Peru, I don't know if you know, plays an important role, not quite as, I don't know, Vietnam, India, or Brazil, but still important, especially in what concerns specialty coffee. And we see here that in 2023, we have some $829 million worth of exports overall, with the United States, Germany, and Belgium as main partners, followed in this top 10 list by others like, I don't know, Canada or Sweden. And ends here, surprisingly, for me at least, with Colombia, who managed to import some $28 million worth of coffee in 2023. Now, in what concerns the compound annual growth rate, we have a positive 6% almost, with only one country in this top 10 list having registered a negative change. So Sweden with some 1.35%, which, let's face it, guys, it's not worrying. As for the year-on-year dynamics, unfortunately, we see a lot of red, so contractions, and overall, we are speaking of some $360 million contraction, as almost all of the top 10 partners registered contractions. Germany and Belgium alone contributing to this negative performance with some 169 cumulatively, while Canada, it seems, was the only country, at least in this top 10 list, who managed a modest positive change, which amounted to almost $4 million. As for the main drivers, well, coffee, excluding here roasted and decaffeinated coffee, drove most of the exports, both towards Germany and Italy. So we are talking about subheading 090111. Moving now, guys, to my third recommendation for you. We have here heading 0303, frozen fish, excluding fish fillets. And from what we see here, it seems that in 2023, the overall exports from this heading amounted to some $201 million, some 30% more relative to the previous year, so 2022, with China, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ghana as the main partners, followed in this top 10 list by others like, I don't know, Nigeria or Japan, and ends here with the Netherlands, to whom Peru managed to export some $2.5 million worth of products, some 10% less than in 2022. The overall compound annual growth rate, again for the last 5 years, is positive, some 14%, even though Nigeria and the United States also registered negative changes. But given the absolute weight in Peru's exports, it tilted just a little bit the overall figure. As for the year-on-year dynamics, we have a 30% positive change, translating to almost $47 million in absolute terms, with Cote d'Ivoire managing the largest absolute positive change. So we have almost $32 million. While on the negative side, the largest figure was registered in relation with the United States, and we have here some $3.5 million contraction. As for Peru's main export drivers from this heading, we see that towards Canada we have frozen fish livers, so while towards Cameroon we have subheading 030355. So we are speaking about frozen jack and horse mackerel. Jumping now, guys, to my fourth recommendation. We have here heading 2008, fruits, nuts, and other edible parts of plants. And for 2023, it seems that Peru's exports amounted to some $100 million, which is 11% less than in 2022. With the United States, Chile, and the Netherlands as main partners, followed in these top 10 list by others like, I don't know, Spain or Canada, and ends here with Portugal, who in 2023 managed to import some $743,000 worth of products from this heading. Now, relative to the year-on-year dynamics, we have a negative 11% change, some $12.5 million in absolute terms, with 6 countries registering positive changes, and the rest of 4 from this top 10 list, unfortunately, were on the negative side. So we have the United States, Peru's largest export destination, being on the negative side, as I was saying, with some $23 million contraction, basically contributing to the overall negative performance. As for the main drivers, well, it seems that subheading 200899 drove most of the exports towards Chile, while palm hearts, so subheading 200891, drove most of the exports towards Spain. And lastly, guys, my fifth recommendation for you comes from heading 1804, cocoa butter, basically. And as we can see, in 2023, Peru's overall exports from this heading amounted to some $71 million, which is 18% more relative to 2022. With the United States, the Netherlands, and Germany as main partners, followed in the top 10 list by others like, I don't know, France or Argentina, and ends here with Greece, who managed to import some $612 $20,000 worth of products from this heading. And if the overall year-on-year dynamics is positive, the compound annual growth rate for the last 5 years is negative. We have some 4%. As Peru's main export destinations decreased their overall imports in this time frame, especially the Netherlands and Germany, while the United States saw its imports from Peru shrunk in 2023, and in fact it has the largest absolute negative change, almost $18 million, but not enough to change the overall positive figure, as the Netherlands, Germany, and France, so this European triad, more than offset the United States figure. As for Peru's main export driver from this heading, well, it seems that cocoa butter, fat, and oil drove most of it, both towards France and Australia. So we are talking about subheading 100400. And guys, with this being covered as well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you've liked it. Don't forget to hit those small vanity buttons below this video. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe.